Hello, Adam O'Shea. Or is it she or Shia? Look, you asked to be challenged, right? And I had already noted certain things about the timbre and spectra of your comments when you did that. And as you know by now, I object to certain concepts you hold dear. I object to those very concepts. You have interpreted that as me telling you how you think, and sadly also as some sort of an emotional abuse. I'm not telling you what to think. I have a policy of not telling people not to be idiots, right? But I still permit myself to tell them they're idiots. Now, I know it seems like that should be the same thing, right? Like if I tell you you're an idiot, that's the same thing as telling you not to be one. But I restrict that to if you're acting idiotic to me in real life. Like let's say you're coming up and throwing firecrackers in my yard, right? I would consider that particularly dangerous. It's obnoxious, but it's idiotic enough to go out and go, hey, don't do that. You're violating my space. But in this domain, I encourage bluntness, and I don't expect everybody to agree with me at all. As a matter of fact, I expect nobody really to what you would call fully agree with me. And I don't even expect people to have sensible ideas. So you are welcome to have nonsensical ideas. But you're not welcome to have a discussion with me where I can't describe the nonsense of your ideas. All right, now, for those of you not familiar with who I'm talking to, let me give a little story. And Adam, feel free to give your own version. Now, Adam shows up in my comments some time ago and is making comments, and they're all civilly worded. And one thing I noticed was Adam makes a lot of claims about his own lack of bias. He's fond of saying he doesn't take sides at all. He looks at all the sides and doesn't take a side. To which, of course, I think that's ridiculous. Of course, you're going to have your own side. You can argue how rational you made your side, the tools you used to construct your view, but to say it's not even a side, it's like saying I have a picture and I took it from nowhere. There's a lot of very, very egotistical comments from Adam. That's not true. About how if Adam gets in a certain state of mind, he could just feel. In my words, I would say, like a truth beam. Just things get so clear. Yeah, we're familiar with that feeling, Adam. You could take acid and have it. I don't put much stock in it. Now, our disagreements came after you said, okay, I'll right to be challenged. And I chose to challenge you on your use of the word righteous and righteousness. Because it's a bullshit word, and has very little history, significant, but little history being used in any worthwhile way. Some people would argue that what Martin Luther King was working on was righteous. I could get behind that. I could hear somebody say that and go, yeah, right on. But it's certainly not, I'm righteous was certainly not a high point of any speech, any way that Martin Luther King himself put it, is it? And if you use the term often, it's simply to promote your own intuition. To promote it. I take no sides. I'm righteous. Oh, wait, that's impossible. It's your side. But it's not a side. I don't put borders. Okay, me. No borders. But I'm the side of a polygon. I'm the side of a planet. I'm the side of an atmosphere. If you don't like the word side, you could always just remember the phrase point of view. All right, so anyway, to go on. In my criticism of righteousness, I spoke. I invoked St. Godwin. And I spoke of the Nazis and how the Nazis, if you people, just read a little bit of it sometimes. I got into it because some guy was blogging on the chapters of it. I'm like, holy shit, because Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda minister, right, or I think, anyway, his diary, it's a utopian, it's just so buttery and flowery and utopian. And looking into this, yeah, the Nazis knew this is terrible what we're doing. Boy, I can't wait till we're done killing the Jews. We won't have to do this terrible stuff anymore when everybody's good. Psychotic, in other words. And that's the fruits of righteousness. Now, why did I rely on such an extreme statement, a version of it, going straight to the Nazis? Well, Adam, your egotism seems somewhat simple to me. I think bright colors, bright primary colors are probably the best medium in which to discuss your views of righteousness and your value of your own intuition. And I think I was proven correctly that I had correctly assessed you or whatever. When in response to that, rather than like calling me on Godwin's law or tamping things down, you talked about how even though the Nazis were bad, I mean, that doesn't mean eugenics was bad, for example, as if to use eugenics to say that something objective and positive could come from Nazis. Well, I got better examples for you than that. The VW bug is a great piece of engineering. It was developed by Porsche himself. And that came from the Nazis. Eugenics is a pile of shit. That's just the kind of thing you expect from a bunch of self-righteous Nazis. Okay. Now, if you don't like this view on your ideas, you're going to have an emotional reaction, aren't you? That doesn't mean I'm emotionally abusing you, because you have a lot of choice. I'm not throwing firecrackers on your lawn, okay? You're coming and choosing to talk to me and asking to be challenged. And even if you didn't ask, I would feel free to challenge you on ideas you present here in public. That's the nature of the conversation that I am in. Okay? Now, I realize that I segue back into a direct form of address, but I think I continued the story of how we got here, right? So it was intuitional egoism followed by righteousness, 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 you know. And you might as well know that I don't believe in that. I believe in a fractal world. You know, I offered you other words. I'm not telling you what words to use or concepts to believe in. Right? I said, hey, instead of righteousness, how about the word health? Now, health could be made vague because, the health of what? The wish system, the health of a community, health of an individual, you know? Like the health of an individual animal might be to give it antibiotics and heal it. The health of that community might be for it to get killed by a tiger and just done with it. You know, just like you can prune a tree. So there's multiple relativistic. In other words, you won't find a righteous definition of health, but you will find various definitions of health. All right? And it might be that an individual acts on the group definition, what makes the community healthier. Lots of individuals like to do that. And it might be that a community acts on the individual definition of health. Strong communities tend to do that. beauty of it is that, Adam, you see, there is a definition of health. There's more than one. If there's a problem, it's that there's more than one. But that just means you go into the shopping market of definitions of health and see which one suits you in a particular circumstance. It's not like there's infinite. There's no righteous one. But there's patterns in nature to sort of lead you to a sensible one that can be communicated. You said to me in the comments that you could argue for eugenics as a concept, and one presumes as a practice, right? But anyway, just as a concept, without relying on the concept of domineering. And you did this in a similar breath, relatively proximate breath, of accusing me of being domineering. Yeah, I've been accused of that before, and I find it funny because I happen to know myself to be insufficiently domineering. The only people that actually think I'm domineering are people that think it's domineering to just say, to be told exactly what someone thinks. In terms of trying to boss other people, no, I won't even do it. I don't go out in a group and try to get the group to do what I want. If I don't want to do what the consensus is, I'm on my way. Or maybe I'll go along with it, but I mean, I don't try to say, oh, everybody should do what I want. In other words, it's no fun. If I'm the only one that wants to go get ice cream and I get a whole group to go get ice cream, I don't find that a fun experience. I'd rather just go get ice cream alone with people that are going to enjoy it. And this is what it's like in a relativistic world. And you get to do the same thing with your criteria of health or any other criteria of enjoyment or that you choose to use in any situation. And none of them are righteous. Righteous is just your way of going, no, ice cream is the right thing to get right now. It is hot. And to apply your own logic, your own intuition to all of us. And that offends me. On the other hand, you're a polite person. I'm not trying to emotionally abuse you. On the other hand, I'm not going to go out of my way to worry too much about it. But if you want to try to defend eugenics, the idea or practice of eugenics, without domination, I challenge you to do that. Try. Right? Try to do that. That cannot be done. You're trying to say who should breed. Eugenics isn't just who you breed with, is it? Trying to say who should breed with who, from a righteous standpoint, no less. It doesn't have to be done from a righteous standpoint. You can argue for eugenics from a relativistic standpoint. But being a righteousness person, you're likely to believe there's an objective. An objective criteria we should all be able to see, rational and so on. There's no way that you're going to have a breeding program of humans, which is what eugenics absolutely is, right? You don't play word games. It's not an aspersion. Eugenics is about breeding programs for humans. There's no way to have a breeding program of animals, which humans are animals, that isn't domineering. Think about it. It can't be done. And furthermore, let me just finish by saying that what we have here is Heidi cat. Ooh, Heidi cat. I see you in there. You think you're in your little ditch? No, Heidi cat. I know you are there. Not really, okay. So finally, the main thing is like with eugenics, it's like, hey, you can make animals better by breeding them. Let's breed them. Okay, where's that idea come from? Oh, look, we bred dogs, Pomeranian. We bred cows, walking. We've never bred an animal to be more free, to live better in nature. We bred animals to be dependent morons. And that's what eugenics would do for humans. Right? Luckily, we're talking about humans here. Good luck with that. Okay? People talk about humans getting conditioned. conditioned to like this kind of slavery or something. Good luck with that. It's been what, 2 to 10,000 years of slavery, and people are still like, fuck that. The closest they've come to doing it is the mind fuck they do for the suburbanites. The actual slaves on the plantation, they kept their, just like, fuck this. They know, they haven't forgot. It'd take hundreds of thousands of years of that. Good luck with that, righteous people. Cheers.